Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Awesome. By a raise of hands, how many of you are super excited to be here? Let me see it. Awesome. Awesome. By a raise of hands, how many of you do not like to raise your hands? All right. So I'd like for everybody to raise your hands as high as you can and hold it there, please. Love this guy. Love Michelle over here. All right, perfect. Now I want you to raise it just a little bit higher. Why didn't you do that the first time? I asked you to raise it as high as you can. Very good. Let me ask you a question. I think you were the first one to stand up that I saw. What's your name?
Lewis.
Lewis. Give Lewis a big round of applause. Is there anybody here that can raise their hand higher than Lewis just did when he stood up?
If I could stand on his shoulders.
Yes.
Yes? Can somebody show me?
Seriously? I mean, I will.
Yeah, of course. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. And what is your name?
Renee.
Renee. Give Renee a big hand clap. Let me ask you another question. Is there anybody here that can tell me how you can raise your hand higher than Renee just did? Somebody tell me. Stand what?
Table.
Stand up on the chair. She knelt down. Stand up on the table. All right. Let's think a little bit bigger. A mountain. Perfect. Which mountain?
Everest.
Mount Everest. You can raise your hand by standing on Mount Everest, correct? Is there anybody that can raise their hand higher than standing on Mount Everest? Go ahead.
You pilot us to a place higher.
Yes, exactly. In what?
In an airplane.
In an airplane. How high?
Rocket ship.
Space. We can go to the moon. We can. You know, yesterday was the anniversary of the first moonwalk. Did y'all know that? That is so cool. I just found that out. But we could go on the moon and raise our hand. My point is, when you say that this is as high as you can, when you say that's your max potential, you have just not even scratched the surface of your potential. And it's a proven fact that if you raise your hand, if your elbow doesn't come as high as your shoulder, that evening you're going to get diarrhea. So whenever you raise your hand, raise it up high. All right? Let's be intentional and take massive action with whatever we do. And we know that you're here in sales, correct? Most of you, are all of you in sales? Everybody in sales, raise your hand. All right? There's some that are not raising their hand. Let me ask those people that didn't raise their hand, do you have children? If you do, raise your hand. Yeah? You're in sales. All right? I'm in sales. I'm selling myself right now. You're making a decision. I like this guy or I don't like this guy. Some of you are looking at me with a hairy eyeball and said, I'm not sure about this guy. I know. My wife doesn't laugh at my jokes either. It's okay. So, everybody know what this means?
Okay.
It means everything's okay. Now, when I was out on the farm driving a tractor all day, my brother and my dad would come by and they'd wave their hand at me like this. Is everything okay? And I'd wave back, say yes. Or if I needed a bottle of water, I'd tell them to come. And, you know, this is a universal sign for everything's okay. Everybody do like this? Look at your neighbor and say, everything's okay. All right. Keep it up. Do this again. Everybody bring it right here on your chin. For those of you that missed it, this is your chin. And I see that I have my work cut out. All right? Is it okay if we have fun today? Yes or yes? All right, we're going to have fun. What I'm going to do is we're going to talk about the DISC sales process. How many of you have ever heard of DISC personalities? Okay, perfect. Some. I love a brand new crowd. All right, awesome. So here we go. Before we get started, if you want as a gift my whole slideshow that I'm going to show you today, get out your phone right now and text EDGE1 to 41411. You'll download all of my slides today, so you don't have to take notes. I did put some notes in front of you that you can write stuff down. I encourage you to do that, but if you'd rather just pay attention and go for it, let's do that. So here's the deal. This is the DISC model of human behavior. Have you ever wondered why some people do some things that they do? Have you ever wondered why they say some of the things that they say? Did you ever wonder why some people are just happier than some other people? Yeah. You ever wonder why some people tend to be a little critical of everything that you do? Yeah, it happens. And the reason for that is because I believe God knows what He's doing. Would you agree with me on that? God knows what He's doing, and He made us differently. Think about this. If all of us were the same, half of us wouldn't be necessary. Think about that. You want to be on the half that's not necessary or the one that's necessary? So that's why He made us different, and we all need each other. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is the 4 different types of personalities that have been identified worldwide. Now, I don't have enough time. I can do 3 days just on this subject alone. So please understand that once you're in a certain group, diagnosed yourself, that's not all that you are. You have a combination of all 4 of them, but you do have some that are dominant. Does that make sense? Okay, so I don't want to put anybody in a box today and say you're only a D-type personality, even though you're standing in the D-type group. Okay, there's actually 47 different unique blends of personalities, and we have assessments that you can take that will tell you exactly what you are. Now, I am a DI. That's my 2 highest. I'm off the charts on the DI. You're going to discover what all this means here shortly. And then I'm really, really, really low on the S and C. And you'll understand why I do what I do once you understand what those are. I'm going to give you 2 important questions that you can ask yourself about your potential clients as they're coming into the doorway or as they're sitting down in front of them. I'm going to give you 2 questions that you can ask yourself about them that will help you identify if they're a D, I, S, or a C. Does that sound good? Ready, set, grow. Okay. Outgoing and reserved. The first question that you want to ask yourself when you see somebody, you want to ask, are they more outgoing or reserved? Now, outgoing people are very fast-paced. They make fast decisions. Everything that glitters is gold to an outgoing person. They have a fast heart rate. From the time they wake up to the time they sleep, this is what's going on inside of them. They're like jittery on coffee, looking around. What's next? We got to go do something. Let's go. Let's have fun. Let's do this. They have an internal engine that sounds like this. Right? Okay? A reserved person is slower paced. Notice I did not say slow, I said slower paced. They're very brilliant. But not everything that glitters is gold. They want to look underneath what glitters and see what makes it glitter. They're a lot less to make a fast, impulsive decision. They want to do their research a little bit. They want to, take their time. They don't like pushy